Good evening. It is a brand new season of Cut Deep. Welcome to Season 6, Episode 4. The theme for Season 6 is Unbridled. We're running this season straight through to election. We're rehashing the issues. We're meeting potential new candidates. We're crunching the solutions. It's talking season, but we're here only for action. The concept of Cut Deep was developed with a focus on encouraging the wider public to think more in depth on issues that plague us, encouraging persons to have a voice and to use that voice to invoke change. Cut Deep is an interactive platform cutting through the noise and political rhetoric. It is raw, uncut, challenging you to think critically. What do the issues mean for us? What part do we play? It is a platform that will move the Virgin Islands toward unified, integrated success. I want to welcome back Blossoms Florist as our support sponsor for Cut Deep. I want to thank those of you who continue to support this platform from behind the scenes. Thank you. Cut Deep is a multi-platform show covering social issues and political issues in the British Virgin Islands. Its viewership continues to grow weekly, reaching more than 6,000 viewers. It cuts across demographics and captures an international audience. For advertising opportunities, email cutdeep@gmail.com or call 284-440-3234. Supporters may also donate to the Cut Deep platform and the issues it supports through our ATH Mobile 284-440-3234 through checks or cash. Donations will be kept confidential. I've taken the time to be in studio alone tonight. There are some developments that I know you wish to hear more on. We will get to those and much more after this short break.
At Blossoms, our floral experts use their creative flair to design beautiful and exotic bouquets. We are the on-island wedding experts, and for boating enthusiasts, we can help you to add a touch of floral elegance, life, and color to your yacht, mega yacht, both locally and internationally. We've even worked with celebrities. At Blossoms, we continue to deliver smiles and watch our customers bloom.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What you really? Hey, this ain't like you, know.
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I huff. I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Welcome back. It's a brand new season of Cut Deep. It's Season 6, Episode 4. If you're just joining, you're right on time. I'm in studio alone tonight, and we'll do a bit of a download on a few areas. If you miss anything, after a couple hours, this live will be available for viewing, and so you may rewatch from the beginning. So tonight I'm going a bit freelancing, and I'm going to touch on a few pressing topics that have come up over the past couple weeks. However, I'm going to start with International Women's Day, which was on March 8th. I want to just speak briefly on the event that we hosted at the Elizabeth Bay Beach, Lambert Bay Beach Resort, the Wyndham Resort. We had a fabulous time. We hosted about 140 women at that event last week. We had speakers such as the Honorable Junior Minister for Trade, Honorable Shireen Flax Charles. Our guest speaker for that night was Senator Janelle Soro from the U.S. Virgin Islands, the 34th legislature. It was a real pleasure to have her. I want to speak on the energy she brought to the event. The day before the event, which would have been, no, the morning of the event, Tuesday morning last week, we went over to Virgin Gorda and we met with the grade 6 straight through to high school. For all the high schools on Virgin Gorda, that was Siboney. We met with the Brigado Flax Education, just all the schools. We invited them to one location and we met there. The senator spoke with them. She gave them really good advice. They had questions and we wrapped up there and we came back over. We had a great time on the boat and throughout the day. And her presentation at the event was really inspiring, I will say. I want to thank her again for taking up my invitation to be there. I can say that I was very disappointed in the angle in which one of our online newspapers decided to present the event, the angle that they went from. I believe people have choices and they should be comfortable in making those choices, and at no point should they be excluded or bullied or victimized for having those choices. Senator, I want to thank you so much for being there. I want to thank the 140 women that were in the room. I want to thank all the sponsors and supporters and ticket donors that supported the event. I am forever grateful to you. During that night as well, you would have seen that I made an announcement to vie in the next general elections for the British Virgin Islands. I have the clip here for you and I'm just going to run it so you can hear it now and we'll come back to that topic. So to my listening audience here and live on 284 Media, JTV, I commit myself to being an independent candidate in the next general elections of the Virgin Islands. I will vie for a seat as an at-large independent candidate in the upcoming elections. I stand firm. So if you viewed that tape just now, that was me announcing my run for the upcoming elections, which whenever that will be. I personally think it will be before the year is out. So I admonish anyone that will step up to represent this territory that they do so now. I prefer to run as an independent candidate. And if you have been viewing my social media pages, if you've been following me for the past few years, you understand how I feel about the party system and why my decision would have been to step up as an independent candidate. I chose the at-large category because I feel that I have a lot to offer to this territory on a whole in terms of where we need to get to within and the decisions that need to be made that will affect us in the next 50 to maybe 100 years. So that was my decision around wanting to run independent and as an at-large candidate. I know everybody's thinking, why independent? You could end up in the house on your own, or you can't make much change on your own. My intention is to run independent, but along with any other independent that has the best interest of this territory at heart and would like to do the right thing by the people moving forward. I think a group of independent people coming together, sitting around a table, can make drastic changes for the BVI. You need people that are committed to saying yes for the territory and not yes for a party, or feeling committed to a party or any single premier coming to the table and saying, this is the direction for the day, this is what we're gonna do, and everybody else agrees whether they think is the right path forward or not. I do not consider that to be democracy, and I do not want to be caught up in any form of organizations like that. As far as I'm concerned, and if you know me, the territory and what the people want will always come first. What they want is what we should be doing, and not individual parties and their supporters. So that is on my run. I will bring you more on my run as it develops and as I move forward in how that will evolve and what it will look like. I want to speak on another something else that developed over the weekend, and it kind of continues right now. So I want to address it. I addressed it on my Facebook page on Saturday morning. I've had lots of calls about it in either direction. I've sat with the owner. I'm speaking to the issue on Tola Radio. I don't know if you saw the clip. If you didn't see the clip, so I sit in as a guest host on Tola Radio's The Morning Braff from time to time, and I made a physical appearance at the studio on Friday morning, and we were going along well, and then there was an issue that came onto the table, and one of the ministers called in, and the minister had his position on a certain issue, and the host for the show had his position on a particular issue, which didn't sit well. The minister's position didn't sit well with the host, and, he became the situation got escalated. My position was to allow, and it's something that I continue to speak to him about on air, off air, because we speak all the time throughout the day. And my position was allow persons to speak, allow them to say what they have to say, because if somebody is not saying something exactly the way you want them to say it, doesn't make it wrong or right. Everybody has a position, everybody has an opinion. The listening public can analyze and decide where they want to be. To hang up or mute someone because they're not saying what you want them to say it's unacceptable. And so that was done to me. If you haven't seen the clip, I was trying to speak to the host on the issue of how he was handling the minister and not allowing the minister to speak, so that the listening audience could understand exactly the minister's position. And so he didn't want to hear me, because I understand that he's upset with this minister. Okay, but you've been trying to call him for the better part of a year. You've been trying to get him back on the show. So he's back on the show. There's so much information that we need from the Minister of Health. He's right there. Let us control the situation so that we can keep him on the phone and get to all the topics and issues that we need to get to under his portfolio, because his portfolio has been a hot topic for months and months. He's here. He has a position, and because you don't agree with his position, you lose it. And so I'm trying to tell you, reel it in. You mute my mic. I found that very disrespectful. And so I made the decision to get up and leave the show. I see people say that, Cindy, you're running for office, and, you're going to come up against situations like this. But I beg to differ, because there are policies and protocols that govern any debate or any House of Assembly or meetings that you would sit in, and you would understand those policies. Cutting off my mic because you didn't want to hear me tell you to allow somebody to speak, I don't compare the two. And yes, he's brought up the issue of me speaking across people, but that's not the issue on the table. We all speak across each other. We try to get our points across. It's a debate. There's a whole difference in doing that and actually silencing someone because you don't want to hear what they have to say, or what they're saying is not of your agenda. That's totally different. You have a view, you express that view, you express your view, and at some point, we agree to disagree and move on. For me, I found the move by Heritage on his morning show disrespectful. A wide number of my listening audience and my followers found it disrespectful. I did have a meeting with Heritage on Sunday evening. However, I gave him the opportunity on Monday morning. I gave him that opportunity to see how he would handle the situation, how would he present it to his listening audience on Monday morning. And even this morning, I've continued to listen. And the truth is, so much of my words that I said to him on Sunday evening was misrepresented, which I probably expected. For me, it's not about numbers. It's not about viewership. It's not about being able to purchase an ad. It's never been that for me. If Cut Deep doesn't have one advertiser, Cut Deep is still going to continue because Cut Deep is here for a purpose, and that is to inform. My platform is to inform wherever I go. Inform, talk about the solutions, and create awareness. It's not about a hype. It's not about sensationalism. It's not about rhetoric. If you know me, I have a problem with those things. I need people to be clear in the position of the BVI, what is going on, what we need to do, and how we get from where we are. I don't have time for all of the drama in between. And so listening to him on Monday morning misrepresent my words, misrepresent my character, even this morning in the sly untruths that were told, I have decided that I would not return to the show. I think that is a decision that I have to make for me, for my platform. It has nothing to do with me announcing my candidacy. I just need to be on platforms that are clear directions for the people and for the Virgin Islands. We are in a trying time. We are in a space where we need to make the right decisions, and I don't want to be a part of anything that will mislead or misguide the public. On that, I'll take a short break and I'll be right back.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, Sonny.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut fun people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man, protect you.
How may I assist you? You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this breaking CCT Live update.
Hello listeners, thank you for joining. I'm Ron Grant reporting for 284 News out of Tortola in the British Virgin Islands with this very special breaking news report. Since the start of 2022, customers have been taking advantage of the 1-month free trial for CCT Live TV and signing up for Fire Fiber Internet. Residents Kyra Powell, Massa Hickingbottom, Carly Cartel, and others have taken to social media to heap praise on CCT for the fiber internet and CCT Live TV. However, we have just been told that the 1-month free trial for CCT Live TV will finish at the end of March. Customers are asked and being advised to go to CCT today and take advantage of this deal before it goes away. Reporting for 284 News out of Tortola in the British Virgin Islands, I'm Ron Grant.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, I'm in studio alone tonight and I'm doing a bit of a download on a few areas. If you miss anything, after a couple hours, this live video will be available for viewing, and so you may rewatch from the beginning. You're looking at Cut Deep, Season 6, Episode 4. So again, there are a few things that I'm just crunching down tonight in raising awareness about some issues that continue to, plague us a little bit. We have a continued issue on escapees from immigration. What I would like to understand is the circumstances under which illegal immigrants are being held here in the BVI. I know the news is saying that they have recaptured 3 of the escapees, and I'm gonna highlight right now that I have a problem that only when these issues are highlighted, that something comes to the public, a notice is put out. So you had these escapees, 4 of them that escaped last week, and only when I spoke about it on the Morning Brav show, a statement came out the afternoon or the next morning. Holding on to information like this puts society at risk. It puts the community at risk. If you don't know somebody's on the loose, you can't protect yourself. People can come into your house, break into your... You put the community at risk when we don't know that escapees are on the loose. Even if you're trying to save face, it's better to save a life than to save face. Anyway, these escapees continue to get away from the locations that they're being kept. I'm trying to figure out if it's a security issue, if there's some kind of internal corruption going on. I'm going to use the word corruption. As I said, right now they have found 3 of the persons, but if you think about the report that was put out, you can think now and say there are about 5 more people on the loose in this small territory. In this territory, this small place, there are 5 people on the loose that nobody can find. Is it that immigration is understaffed, police is understaffed? Is it a criminal activity ring going on that is being protected? It's becoming worrisome for me. And how are these people getting here? Who is responsible for bringing them in? Like, what are the answers? And I'm gonna need all authorities to step up and get this situation under control, to have escapees, people escaping your hold. It's literally every month now. Every month somebody has escaped immigration hold. So this is a situation that needs to come under control. We have 5 escapees. I think it might be more right now on the loose. It was 8. There are 5 now. So let us get this situation under control, because while these people are out there, our lives, the community is at risk, because we have no idea who these people are, their background, why they were even coming here in the first place, and who is bringing them and for what reason. So that is of concern to me. It's of concern to everybody inside of the society. We come around to the Social Security grants and loans is back on the table, because the government is now seeking to get a loan from Social Security to work on certain infrastructural projects. Social Security. The government took out a grant of some $40 million about a year ago. Now, a grant means that this $40 million will not go back into our retirement fund. $40 million. Government is now looking to secure a loan from Social Security. We have no idea how much is being sought. We have no idea what projects they're going to be used on. My problem with Social Security is that they are using our money, the retirees' money, the pensioners' money, people that pay into that fund. They are using it as their own personal piggy bank. And so I want to appeal. My position on this is that the policies that govern and the laws that govern Social Security or Social Security need to be updated immediately. No way should Social Security funds be used for grants or loans or, any of that. And if you're investing our monies, then that money belongs to the pensioners, those people paying into that fund. However, we're not seeing an upgrade of these funds in the payout annually. to the pensioners. The amounts paid out have been the same for years, well, for decades. The amount for a funeral grant has been the same for decades. The amount that's paid out for a funeral grant can't even cover the cost of a casket. But somehow, our money that we put in there, because it's not Social Security's money, it's our money that we put in there for retirement, for a rainy day, somehow it's not being kept up to the standards of cost of living. And so the policies need to be revamped. The monies at Social Security need to be secured from government. That's the way I'm going to put it. It needs to be secured from government. It should not be looked at as government's kitty pan. It should not be looked at as the first option for loans. And if they're giving loans, what is the payback? What is the rate at which the interest comes back? All of these things we need to know. And so I personally feel like the policies governing Social Security need to be revamped immediately. We have the COI, the report coming back, and I smile. We have that COI report coming back, and we're looking forward to that. I believe it's April 19th is the date that I'm understanding the report is supposed to come back to the people. I don't know what is going to be in the report. I think we are all concerned, and I will continue to highlight the COI so it's always at the tip of our minds, and whatever is brought back to us as a people, we have to be prepared as to our next steps forward, what we're willing to accept as a free people, and how we will deal with any fallouts of or ramifications moving forward. Personally, I've said before, from the time the COI came about, I am not interested in the suspension of our constitution. I am not interested in having other people run our affairs. It's unfortunate that we are at this stage, and the people that we elected over decades and years, that they have us in this position with no remorse. Yes, we are under the UK, but as far as I'm concerned, they too have been slack in ensuring a proper governance for these islands. So we are not, as a people, prepared to lose because the UK didn't exercise proper oversight, and because the people that we thought we could have trusted, didn't do what they were supposed to do. So I am going to say to my people to be ready for what the COI has to bring forward. And I really want to choose my words, because Vino always puts me in this light of radical movements, but I will always say be ready to, protect these islands and where we want to see it for our future generations. And that, I'm going to take a quick break and come right back.
At Blossoms, our floral experts use their creative flair to design beautiful and exotic bouquets. We are the on-island wedding experts, and for boating enthusiasts, we can help you to add a touch of floral elegance, life, and color to your yacht, mega yacht, both locally and internationally. We've even worked with celebrities. At Blossoms, we continue to deliver smiles and watch our customers bloom.
Livestream Cable TV is here with CCT Live. Access over 80 channels that you can watch either at home or when you're on the go. And don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Rewind and watch in your own time. Come to CCT today and ask about our 1-month free trial offer. CCT Live. Bring it home.
The wait is over! CCT Fire is here! Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Welcome back. It's Cut Deep, Season 6, Episode 4. Thank you for joining me. If you're just tuning in, I'm in studio alone tonight, and I will be doing a bit of a download on some of the areas that have been affecting us. If you miss anything, after a couple hours, this live video will be available for viewing, and so you may rewatch at that time from the beginning. So I'm just going down my list here, and I am on the Speaker of the House, Julian Willock, and I have to keep speaking about the fees that were levied on him through the courts. And one of the reasons I'm doing that is that I do not want it to slip through the cracks. I spoke about it last week. I'm going to speak about it again this week because I see an update has been given where the committee that has been set up to review this matter has been given an extension on their deadline to bring forward a report. Now, I mean, I'm no genius in these things. My mind just starts working, and I try to just analyze some things in my head. So the House of Assembly sent this on to committee stage. The House of Assembly had a first sitting last week. I don't recall that this matter came up in the House of Assembly and a vote was moved to extend the time given to the committee. So I'm trying to understand who gave the extension, how the extension came about, and furthermore, where is the court in all of this? Because the court made a ruling. And so it's just really confusing that an entire court matter can be brought out of court and sits in the House of Assembly for decision making. And this can take as long as our House of Assembly seem to think that they can take. I would like to know who extended the deadline, because it wasn't brought to the House of Assembly. I did not hear it come up in the House of Assembly last week. So who granted the extension? Under what grounds? How long is the extension? And where is the court in the judiciary in this matter? Where are they? What is their response? What does the judge have to say? Is the Speaker of the House out of time in paying these fees to the opposing side? What are the answers? If somebody can give us some answers, because we're entitled to these answers as voters. If somebody can give us some answers, please. Who extended the deadline, which should have been extended by the House of Assembly, but it seems to have been extended by someone or some people outside of the House of Assembly? What is the extension? What grounds do you have to even make these decisions? And where does the court stand in all of this? Okay. I saw it in the news, and I am just really, I'm keen on understanding what's going on with that situation. And so are the people. The next thing, if we saw yesterday in the news, the UK Privy Council threw out the right for gay marriage in Bermuda and Cayman, because I think they had 2 active cases going on. I shared it on my social media page, and I basically said, wow. But my thing is, I really did not expect a different response, because a court cannot decide outside of the Constitution. For me, what's on the table now is what is going to happen as it relates to these types of rights and moving forward as we ourselves move into our constitutional review. The courts in the UK had no other choice but to stand by our constitution in the law. But will there be a focus or a force for us to have to look at gay marriage, what that force is going to look like, and where these territories will be heading as it relates to issues like that as we look at our constitutional review. So that's the thought for me on that. I expected nothing different than what the court brought forward because they could not step outside of our constitution or our laws. Okay, so yes. So we get to, I'm going to speak about a small, it's not small, but I'm going to speak about this before I go to a quick break and then come back. When I come back, I'll talk about the task force. The road that leads into the Long Bay Beach, the higher side where most of the congregation happen, where the bars and so forth. A slab of concrete has been thrown down there. And I understand that one project that the government was working on, the road that collapsed on the bridge there in the Sound, they ordered 20 yards of cement, and they really only needed 5 for that project. And so they didn't want to toss the remainder of the cement. And so they took it and they laid it out there at the entrance. The troublesome thing for me is that the cement was just laid there. It wasn't set in a way, or the structure wasn't, the framework wasn't set down to lay out that cement. It was just poured there so it can run off into the swamp, the pond. It's not done properly. There is no plan in place to actually concrete that drive in. So why would you do that? Why would you put that there and leave it there like that? Furthermore, that is not even the answer for that road. I don't think that road, and others don't think that it should be concreted going into the beach. How do we just make bad decisions like this? And we make it seem as if, oh yeah, we're getting ready to pave that road. No, you're not. And I want to suggest that the government go and have a team remove that cement from there and leave that beach to be in its natural habitat, its natural form. I don't think cement should be put there. That slab of cement is gonna sit there for years because you guys are not gonna do anything with that. You're gonna repurpose the road and I'm good with that. I'm good with that. There needs to be a way to do it properly, but to put that slab of cement there, I'm just gonna beg you guys to just go, break that up, take it up, and it's not a good look. So just please remove it. Please remove it. Thank you. I'm gonna take a short break and come back.
At Blossoms, our floral experts use their creative flair to design beautiful and exotic bouquets. We are the on-island wedding experts, and for boating enthusiasts, we can help you to add a touch of floral elegance, life, and color to your yacht, mega yacht, both locally and internationally. We've even worked with celebrities. At Blossoms, we continue to deliver smiles and watch our customers bloom.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this breaking CCT Live update.
Hello listeners, thank you for joining. I'm Ron Grant reporting for 284 News out of Tortola in the British Virgin Islands with this very special breaking news report. Since the start of 2022, customers have been taking advantage of the 1-month free trial for CCT Live TV and signing up for Fire Fiber Internet. Residents Kyra Powell, Massa Hickinbottom, Carly Cartel, and others have taken to social media to heap praise on CCT for the fiber internet and CCT Live TV. However, we have just been told that the 1-month free trial for CCT Live TV will finish at the end of March. Customers are asked and being advised to go to CCT today and take advantage of this deal before it goes away. Reporting for 284 News out of Tortola in the British Virgin Islands, I'm Ron Grant.
Livestream Cable TV is here with CCT Live. Access over 80 channels that you can watch either at home or when you're on the go. And don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Rewind and watch in your own time. Come to CCT today and ask about our 1-month free trial offer. CCT Live. Bring it home.
Welcome back. It's season 6, episode 4 of Cut Deep. I'm your host, Cindy Roseanne. If you're just joining us, thank you for joining in. I'm in studio alone tonight, and I'm doing a bit of a download on a few areas. If you miss anything after a couple hours, this live video will be available for viewing, and so you may watch from the beginning. I want to move on to the situation with I want to kind of keep it with the gas because that was the most obvious thing to come up in the past week. We're having a serious problem with cost of living in the BVI, and yes, it's due to situations going on around the world, whether it be COVID, whether it be now the war with Ukraine and Russia. And quite a bit of it is in contribution from the amount of taxes the government is levying on businesses and on individuals. So it's kind of the perfect storm, and the government isn't really being of any kind of help, at least to the consumer. Anyway, it was the anticipation that gas prices would go up based on what's happening in Ukraine and Russia. I mean, now to be fair, Russia doesn't even supply the world, or 50% of the oil, gas coming out of Russia isn't even, it's 6%, if I'm correct. Anyway, gas prices, we expected them to go up based on what was going on. However, because we don't have any regulation in the BVI in terms of business and consumer protection, the gas companies here, I think except for one, I'm understanding, raised the prices in anticipation of what was going to happen. Now, no new gas has come onto the island, but our gas prices escalated. Gas prices are now going back down over the past few days. But in response to the prices that went up at the gas pumps, the Premier held a special meeting, or he made a statement on Sunday evening that he was forming a task force to investigate what we would consider to be price gouging, whatever the word is. So he created a task force, and this task force is to go to businesses and investigate. There are a few things on this for me. One, that's just political posturing, because the Premier knows that he can't do anything. There are no legal legs to stand on. And so it's political posturing. It's playing with people. It's playing with the consumer, thinking that he's gonna do something, we're gonna get a break, blah, blah, blah. No, we're not, because the Premier can't do anything about businesses and the prices that they charge us, and some of that effect coming from his government and the onslaught of taxes that he continues to levy on these companies. In addition to that, however, I made a post about it on my page this morning. This is a small community. We all know each other. We're all connected in some fashion or form. I find it hard that the Premier has to even step up to regulate or attempt to regulate your bad business practices, because one of the things emerging out of this on the back and forth with the WhatsApps and the business chats and in consumers and so forth is that the Premier is pitting businesses against the consumer against business. But why does it have to be that way? Why does he have to regulate your bad business practice? Why do you have to raise gas prices when you know you weren't affected in anticipation? Are you going to lower your fees now that that the gas prices are going down? Are you going to give your customers some kind of break now that it has gone down? So the Premier having to step in and regulate bad business practice and greed sends a strong message. So the government isn't pitting, in this instance, is not pitting business against consumer. The consumer is sitting here and feeling what's going on as well and can make decisions of their own and pay attention and see what's going on. There's too much greed in the BVI. People are struggling. You raise your gas prices and it hits everywhere. Food prices again will go up. Taxis will cost more. Just every single thing will affect the consumer once again, just because you thought that you could raise your gas prices because, gas prices are going to go up. But it hasn't gone up. It hasn't affected you. You haven't brought any new gas in. So why are you raising your prices? It's a knock-on effect, and it affects all of us. It affects the consumer negatively. And we already can't buy bread. So of course we're going to be mad at you. Whether the Premier said anything or not, the consumer was already angry that you guys were going to raise your prices. As a small community, we have to do better in looking out for each other. Prices across the BVI are ridiculous, and we all know it's ridiculous. You can do better. So do better. Stop blaming the government. Yes, the government has their blame to carry, but businesses are also using what is going on to their advantage. And you have to understand that the climate that we're in, the consumer is really, really, really suffering. And I feel that you can do a lot better. There are areas where you can't, but there are some areas and lots of areas where you can do better under the circumstances, and you can work with us, work with the government. We're all here. At the end of the day, we're all consumers, and we all feel the price hikes in any direction. And if you don't need to at this point, then don't. I want to move on to, I'm going to talk about the hospital quickly. We seem to be having some serious issues at the hospital. I don't know who is going to really be fair and express exactly what's going on at the hospital, but we're having some serious issues at the hospital. The hospital appears to be grossly understaffed. It appears to not be functioning really and truly in any capacity. I think there's a state of emergency happening at the hospital. I'm going to say to the Premier, I'm going to say to the Minister of Health to really look at what's going on there and come up with some solutions. There's a lot going on at the hospital, and some attention needs to be paid. Some changes need to happen. some restructuring needs to happen. That is our line of emergency. If someone falls ill, if the ambulance needs to move to save a life, it has to. So that area, and a focus needs to, we need to refocus on that area. Honorable Premier, Minister for Health, you need to refocus on the hospital, and it needs to be brought under control. I'm doing more and more investigations on that situation, and I'm going to bring more to the people. So if you can zoom in on what's going on there and the least negativity I have to bring or alarming news that I have to bring to the people would be much better. So please look into the situation that's going on at the hospital. It is not functioning, period. We're going to take a short break and come back to close on one other topic and to close out for the night.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, son.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut fun topic.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you?
Yes.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in tonight. It's season 6, episode 4. I'm in studio alone tonight, and I have been going down a list of a few areas that are still challenging for us and some things that needed to come to the public. I want to close out tonight on one issue that is very dear to me, which is our young people, our high school students, and not just our high school students, our students in general. And as I hear more and more every day, we need to get to the bottom of some things, and we need to understand the severity of the situation of which we find our children in the schools, in the high school, the problems that are facing them that are really hidden, and teachers and principals can't do anything about it. They can't say anything because we prefer to cover over everything. I sat in a meeting yesterday. Well, I've been having a few calls forever. I always get calls and messages on issues, but I sat in a meeting yesterday in regards to a situation at the Elmo Stout High School with some students. I'm sure the minister for the subject is aware of the situation. I'm sure parents are aware. I'll say quickly that I am not abreast of every issue that happens in the public system because my 2 sons that are of high school age, they do not attend the Elmo Stout High School. My daughter is in Willard Whitley Primary School, and as much as the high school is facing issues, social issues, the primary schools are facing the same issues because they're a microcosm of our society and all that we have to deal with as adults. But there is a serious situation of laced gummy bears that are being sold on the campus, on the Elmo Stout High School campus. And this is both campuses. It's almost It's not almost. It's a whole gang affair going on, and it's a really serious situation that is being covered up. And the extent of that situation, I understand, led to a serious issue yesterday, which I'm not ready to talk about, but a serious issue that happened with a young lady, a young student, a girl. I'm really concerned about the situation, that particular situation where there is an outright sale of gummy bears, laced gummy bears that are laced with marijuana that's being sold to students. Students are selling from whoever their dealer is, they're selling on campus. The teachers and principals can't seem to get it under control. The Honorable Minister for this subject, I want to know if you are aware of this situation and what is the answer? What is it that you are doing to combat this situation? This is a serious situation, and I'm saying that out of this situation yesterday, a serious problem erupted with a young lady, a young female student that was inappropriately handled. I need to understand, Minister of Education, if you are aware of this escalating situation, this sale of drugs inside of our high school that's going on with our teenage children. We are losing the fight for our young people. And we need to figure out what the answer is, what we're going to do about it, because they are out there on their own. I'm telling you, they're out there on their own. Based on the policies that we have in the schools now, I'm understanding there isn't much that the teachers can do. Like, our education system needs an entire revamp. We need to focus in on our young people. We need to understand the issues at home, the foundations they're coming up with. What are our foundations in the schools? What are we doing to help them? That situation of sale of drugs inside of our schools is a serious one that escalates onto the streets. And when we see our young men are being gunned down in the middle of the street, we act like it's something that, oh, how did that happen? We need to get a grasp of the situation that's going on with our young people inside of the Elmo Stout High School. We have to. We cannot turn a blind eye to it, and we cannot leave our children to be exposed to this. We have to do something. Minister, I'm calling on you to take a look at this situation. If you didn't know that it existed, I think it's time that you zoom in on the schools and understand the real issues that's going on in there, that's facing the students, that's facing the teachers, and that's facing the principals. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We are in talking season, as you can all tell, and we are definitely on the road to elections. I want to encourage voters and residents to be mindful of what is said, actions put forward at this late stage, and the regular rhetoric that will come with election season. If you are not registered to vote, I am encouraging you, I am imploring you to do so as a matter of urgency and priority. Yes, there are conversations from people that are really feeling disenfranchised and feeling, what's the word? Hurt. I'm going to just use the word hurt, that have decided they're not going to go to the polls. But I really want to let you know that if you don't go to the polls, that is also a decision. Voting is a choice, not voting is a choice, but they are both decisions, and they are both votes. Not voting is a decision, and voting is a decision. It means if you don't vote that you're good with the status quo, and it will continue. We hold a responsibility to this territory, to our children and future generations, to continue to fight for a better Virgin Island, for better living conditions, infrastructure, basic necessity, better cost of living, education. We deserve it, and our future generations deserve a fighting chance Remain vigilant, remain aware, understand the issues, and seek true solutions. Put on your thinking caps and make it make sense for you. If it's not adding up, toss it out, or ask as many questions as you can until it makes sense. Be responsible with your vote and make use of your voice. Until next week, I will see you then, and have a good evening. Thank you.